We are a non-profit organization whose aim is to create a Somali society with an educated populace, strong infrastructure, and developed agriculture. We will achieve this goal through the comprehensive training of teachers with improved educational facilities, empowering the government to invest in their infrastructure, and introducing a comprehensive irrigation system to help make farming more efficient during the dry season. The means of implementing this plan will come from a grant with 3 prongs, one for each sector, and a very controlled method for releasing the funds. Somalia is an African country located on the east coast of the continent, bordering Kenya, Djibouti, and Ethiopia, with an arid and flat landscape. The country has a violent history originating with British colonization and aggressive military dictators, plagued by civil war up until 1991 and continuing into the present. One of the principal issues is the political division of the country, with 2 autonomous regions of Puntland and Somaliland. This division makes unification of the budget and the tackling of internal issues nearly impossible, and concrete data about the nation as a whole is scarce. With a total budget of only $246,307,948, there is very limited capital resources available, and thus a desperate need for outside intervention. The first sector we are targeting is education. The ongoing civil war has deprived many children the opportunity to be educated, with only 30% of all children enrolled in schools. Somaliland declared in 2011 that schooling be free, but this is not feasible to maintain because of the lack of incentive for the teachers to teach. Our plan is with the first prong of the grant, to induce an influx of teachers by subsidizing the government to pay higher teaching salaries, with additional funding going towards the renovation of educational facilities. With approximately 5 million children between the ages of 0 and 14, the target age for our education plan, we realistically will not be able to help everyone. With that in mind, we have a goal to construct or renovate 30 schools over a 5-year period and gain 500 teachers annually.
The second sector we will target is infrastructure. With a largely unpaved road system, transportation from the rural sectors of the country to the urban areas is very difficult. With only 39% of the total population living in urban areas and the rest living in the rural outreaches, a paved road system connecting rural areas to major urban centers is what we will strive to create. In addition to the road system, power lines will be constructed along the roads in order to provide electricity to the rural population. The Civil War destroyed the electrical infrastructure of the country, where currently people will pay up to $1 per hour for electricity because of how scarce power lines are, making bare bones electricity a luxury families can only dream of. Therefore, the second prong of our grant will go towards this dual effort of paving roads from rural to urban areas and building power lines along those paved roads. The final sector that we will be looking to improve is agriculture, which happens to be the largest economic sector in the country. The agricultural sector contributes over 65% of Somalia's GDP, with contributions made both by domestic and export distribution of crops. However, a major issue with this trend is that such a small portion of the land in Somalia is arable. We need to find a way to make more land arable. We propose to give the Somali government money to subsidize a deep pipe irrigation plan to use in arid areas. Deep pipe irrigation has seen favorable results in Africa before. It helps the plant develop a much larger root volume than other forms of irrigation, which helps the plant survive even after watering has ceased. Given that the majority of Somali farmers' water comes from rainfall collection, it would also be prudent to implement improved rainfall capturing systems. We can provide money to install micro-attachments, which are artificially created basins designed to capture and store runoff for future agricultural use. The grant that we will give the Somali government will total $900 million, with $300 million going towards each sector of education, infrastructure, and agriculture. There are many risks in giving the government this amount of money, given the potential corruption in the government and the piracy that plagues the nation. There is also a risk with its 2 autonomous regions that may not progress at the same level. To mitigate this risk and to ensure that the money is going towards its intended issue area, it will be funneled in small amounts monthly into the central government located in the capital of Mogadishu, not divided into the individual regions. A team of development auditors will go in to evaluate progress before the next amount of the grant is deposited. If the progress is not up to standard, the money will come in smaller and smaller doses until progress has caught up, or the funding will cease entirely. This three-part grant will strive to improve education, infrastructure, and agriculture in Somalia, one payment installment at a time, until real progress is seen and continues on its own merit.